Thank you very much. Allow me to greet the Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Kaknak, the O Administrator P.Y. Kaunan, and of course, the daughter of our beloved friend, Susan Lori or Estelle Ople Osorio, and the family members of the Ople family that are here today. Well, of course, First Lady Luis Serenata Marcos, the overseas Filipino community leaders who owe so much to Toots and the work that she did over so many years. My fellow workers in government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, we are reminded that there are extraordinary public servants who never truly leave public service. This is because their legacy continues to protect the very people they stood for long after they are gone. In many ways, it could be said that all of us who are doing any kind of work for OFWs around the world are only following the strictures laid out. Siyang nagsimula nitong lahat eh. Lahat naman ng ginagawa natin, sinundan lang natin yung kanyang instruction nung siyang naging secretary ng DMW. And we are still following her principles. We are still following the concepts. And why do we do that? We do that because they are successful, because they truly help those that we are trying to help. And that is the genius, the compassion of the work that Toots brought to public service. I was listening to PY when you quoted her about the relationship between Saudi Arabia and the Philippines in terms of the labor markets and the labor relations. Well, first of all, I could hear the voice of Kablas in that. But when I was listening further, I said, this is so eloquent. And that sort of eloquence does not come from study. It does not come from reading, does not come from writing. It comes from a true and honest and sincere belief that this is the work that she is meant to do, that she was put on this earth to do this work. And that is why she did it. And it came from that inspiration that she found. And I would, Toots is very much associated with OFWs, of course. But the more I got to know her, it wasn't because the basic motivation for her to help OFWs was not because they were just because they help the Philippine economy with the remittances and all that. No, but basically at the heart of it was that she said she always wanted to help because they were Filipinos. And no Filipinos should be allowed should be left behind, should be ignored, should be forgotten. And the reason that I think the reason that she focused on OFWs, because it is very easy for us when our kababayans go abroad, out of sight, out of mind. And they do have special problems, and they do have special challenges, and it's only the government that is there that can help them. And that's the role that she took even when she was still out of government. But the moment she got into government, again, she laid the groundwork. Everything that we are doing now, all of the successes that you see, she laid the groundwork for that. When Hans and PY bring people back from Yemen, from Houthi attacks, etc., etc. These are relationships that Toots made in her lifetime. Kaya tayo may nalalapitan sa Saudi, kaya meron tayong nalalapitan sa UAE, kaya tayo may nalalapitan kung saan-saan. Ay dahil naging kaibigan na ni Toots, nakakatrabaho na niya yun. And they learn to trust her, and they learn to see the quality of the person that Toots was. And she really was very special. And I only regret that we could not have given her this award while she was still alive. Because not only was she an amazing public servant, she was an amazing person. She is one of the best people that I have ever met in my life. Okay? So today we confer the Order of Lakandula with the rank of Grand Cross or Bayani to Toots Ople. More than 2 years since her passing, her work remains in the policies that she shaped and in the everyday systems that protect our overseas workers. Toots was the first full-fledged secretary of the DMW. She gave form and force to an infant agency born from years of migrant advocacy. She was aware that she was both laying a foundation while responding to urgent, real-world needs of our countrymen. And under her leadership, the Philippines entered into 42 bilateral agreements with 25 countries. Agreements that were based on the firm belief that Filipino workers deserve protection, they deserve fairness, and they deserve respect, wherever they might be, anywhere in the world. She helped establish the One Repatriation Command Center and the OFW hospital. And how successful has that been? The OFW hospital, it is a tribute to the work and the sacrifice that our OFWs have made for the betterment, of course, of their families, but also for the country. She also led the launch of the DMW DMW mobile application and OFW Pass, giving the government a more reassuring presence in the daily lives of our OFWs and of their families. Aside from this, Secretary Toots also directed the closure of illegal recruitment operations, confronting exploitation with decisive action. Malinaw ang kanyang panindigan. Tiyakin natin na makatao at makatarungan ang trato sa bawat manggagawang Pilipino sa ibayong dagat. Her service began long before DMW. She consistently worked at the intersection of policy and of people, guided by both heart and mind. She served as the USEC of Department of Labor and Employment, Chief of Staff to her father at the Department of Foreign Affairs. She established in 2004 the Blas F. Ople Policy and Training Institute, a non-profit organization whose advocacies for OFWs are grounded in research, training, and a long-term vision. In 2020, she became the first Filipino to serve on the Board of Trustees of the United Nations Trust Fund for Victims of Human Trafficking, bringing a uniquely Filipino perspective to the global table. She also authored 2 books where she shared her insights on the realities of working abroad and the importance of social welfare, ensuring her advocacy reached the hands of many people. What set her apart was how she worked. She led with empathy, with expertise, and with very, very strong moral clarity. I witnessed this personally, and I consider it a privilege to have had her in my cabinet. I consider it a privilege to have had her as a friend, because she provided she brought heart to the work that we do. She always reminded us why we make sacrifices, why we work hard, why we do the difficult things. It is to protect Filipinos. And that standard of service I shall always carry with me. Secretary Toots consistently championed the dignity and the rights of every Filipino migrant worker. She ensured that they were modern-day heroes with names, families, and dreams. And even while she was herself privately battling sickness, she still continued to serve. She worked until the very last day of her life. Sa gitna ng sariling pagsusubok, hindi niya iniwanan ang tungkulin niya sa bayan. Hanggang kaya, lumalaban. Hanggang sa huli, nagserbisyo. She knew the sand in her hourglass was beginning to run low, yet she gave what little time she had left to ensure that our Filipino migrant workers would continue to be protected, kahit wala na siya. Today's conferment is timely. It coincides with Rizal Day, and the 4th founding anniversary of the Department of Migrant Workers. And just like Rizal, Toots believed that love of country is expressed through courage, through discipline, and through service. And like the DMW itself, she showed that a life devoted to serving the people gives meaning and strength to one's purpose. For many, Secretary Toots is a standard of excellence in public service. For all that she was, I know she would just prefer to describe herself as a mother, an obedient daughter, a good worker, and a friend to everyone. So today, in her honor, I join the Ople family and everyone whose lives she has touched in this shared commitment to champion was what she stood for and to serve with the same passion, with the same integrity and drive that defined her well-lived life. Thank you and good morning.